Good morning. Happy Sunday. It has been an absolute minute. Too long. I really wanted to just check in here and say hello, that this page and this very, very big, passionate part of me had not been forgotten about. There have been quite a few things that have been happening in the background. I've just entered another year yet of my dual degree, so making sure that completing that, and I've fallen pregnant. How beautiful is that? I'm now six months pregnant, and time has absolutely flown. So I think that our last live was in August.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Excuse me, guys. I've got all my tech stuff recording me. Doesn't that freak you out? Freaks me out. It freaks me out. The Siri home system comes on her own, and I don't like it. It freaks me out. But my beautiful partner is someone who's just much more technologically advanced than myself. I tend to be, as he says, like the hippie girl. That's kind of like living in this lifetime, right? Yeah, so it's definitely been a while since I've done the last broadcast on Out of the Fog, the Trauma Network. So everything is basically, look, as you guys know, and those people who follow me personally on Facebook, all of this started 3-4 years ago, the dream. And it's funny because I had memories come up for me around about this time 2 years ago, where I had been learning and advancing and all these things, really cultivating my skills, because I knew that there was something there that I needed to offer. I just wasn't too sure how to do that, wasn't too sure where to begin. But my main focus was really leaning in from experiences of my own. And then, of course, moving into state and having to run for my life and coming over here and sitting in this place of absolute vulnerability in a rural area of Queensland, and understanding that, wow, there is not enough support services for here. And I know that I've told this story before, way back on, I'm pretty sure it was the network show, might have also been Country Coaching, where I shared some of my story. And it was more of that, I suppose, limited scope of a part of my life that changed me and brought me here. And in that story, I say how literally it was 2 referrals within over a year period, and I never got a call back. And so I ended up investigating more, and I ended up getting hold of a private health service. And at that time, I had a different job and a different, day-to-day employment that basically pays the bills, as I do now, whilst everything else is taking off, all my dreams, all my aspirations, those things that really, really call you to be that thing, whatever it is for you, that passion. And when I contacted that private health service, don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, I don't want to give an exact amount because I feel like either that might be a bit drastic or maybe perhaps undervaluing the service that they give, because it's a remarkable service, right? But calling through to the private psychologist and getting told that it was over $200 to attend. And it was like, wow, this is just ridiculous. And that part of me that needed the help so much booked the service. And never mind the fact that it wasn't actually local here in this little town, the fact that you actually had to travel to that service, which was in another town, an hour away, transportation fees, all that sort of stuff. Guys, you know where I'm coming from. Even if you're living comfortably, there is still you're still kind of legitimizing and still putting things into, okay, should I be doing this? And, do I have the time for this? And I know that it needs to be done. And then what starts to happen is that there is already a fear and a vulnerability that is already calling you to speak about something with someone. Okay. And it's scary and it's daunting because for me, it had been a very, very long time since I had sought support service. And I'm someone who had become very hardened and was in this place of, like a survival mode, you could say. Very, very overstimulated mindset, which I've always had, but even more so. And and so, what starts to happen is that you start to see more of the cons and the pros in attendance to something like this: money, time, travel, la, the list goes on, and then you end up backing out, right? Because you're like, oh, I can't do this. So that was basically part of this thing that really started to incentivize me creating these different tools, more holistic ones. Because if you know part of my story too, you'll know that I've been a drug addict. I've been in those places. Um, I was admitted to a hospital that was more there for, more of the mindset, mental, whatever you would like to call it. These days in psychology, we've really shifted from, it's all about the mental health side of things, right? But we're very, very careful, and we're more sensitive to how we talk about things, whereas way back it wasn't so much like that. So I've had these array of experiences from really, really traumatic things that absolutely shaped and and put value to what I offer now. And I guess that if I knew that then, and I knew and what I knew I could turn it into now, it's like this gold, these golden things that really come from, those times of being in absolute desperation and not knowing where you're heading. Anyway, so what's brought me here today? It's been a minute. I know I divert. You know me. So it has been a while. Within the pregnancy, I took a break from uni, went back to uni now, work, all of these different things that are happening, but more so for the guys that were coming on. So we have the beautiful Reese Anderson, who is still someone to come on, and we were booked to do that. And he had just completed a 100-kilometer, I keep wanting to say 100-hour, 100-kilometer walk the day before. Absolutely epic. Such a great thing to be doing it for too. And of course, he also is very, very passionate about mental health. So the plan is to still get him on, guys, even though he has kind of, we have put him onto the back burner, and that's me as well. But so looking forward to having him on. Another person that is coming on, that is keen to come on and share her story, which is an absolutely beautiful one. And once again, powerful, because that's what we lean for here, right? Is the powerful, the things that really allow us to see. If you're going through a hard time, it allows you to see that there are things that are shaping you for your moment, depending on whatever that may be, and depending on if you choose that, because you need to choose. When you're in those places, you've got to choose. That there's no other way. I'm sorry to say that, but you will need to choose. And so these are the people that are really coming on and bringing that scope, whether it comes from, you know, um, places of learning, developmental struggles, or places from, trauma, whatever struggle it might have been earlier on that you went through that kind of started to take you down this path of destruction and a need for wanting more and questioning. You absolutely belong on the show, and you need to come and share your story with me, because there are many people that want to hear it. Um, so Georgie Hansen, I'm not going to tell you about her story because it's not for me to share. It's for her to share. But she is someone as well who will really, if you are a woman, a man, a parent who has lost your beautiful one, I encourage you to come onto this. I get shivers because if you know my story, you know I have lost three before I fell pregnant this time. Um, and so it's very, very beautiful and it gives me tingles. And it's funny how, after doing so much healing, you can actually start to embrace these types of stories. And it doesn't speak to the triggered part of yourself anymore. It speaks to the healed human part of you. So it's really, really, really powerful stuff. You must come on, watch it. So we will continue to do this work. I will continue to do this work, and I know that it has been a while. And I suppose that was really what drew me this morning. Was seeing these memories come up of, you know, when a lot of this really started, but the dream was there, and I had started to take steps, pardon me, in creating this and all this sort of stuff, and I was in the middle of trying to just sort it out in my brain, and I went on the beautiful retreat with Emily Shine, and um, and oh my gosh, I've just had an absolute mind blank, and Jessie Moss. I was just about to say Jessie, please, her and I speak very, very often. I'm going to blame it on baby brain. Being in the third trimester already, can you imagine? And it was an ice bath that I partook in, and that was in itself so powerful. And then, of course, that Native American sweat lodge that just changed my life. And I walked out of there, I do believe, and I still get tears in my eyes, and even now, tingles down my body, because I walked out of there a very, very, very different person. And I had been seeking peace for so long. And it was a 3-day event. I remember I had to arrive there late because I had to travel. This was in the beautiful Mullaney. But that practice and the practice of silence and the practice of meditation and the practice of the breath and all of these things. And it started to become something that was like, wow, this really turned my life around. And then leaving Mullaney, in the heart of Mullaney, there I stumbled across this really, really old bookstore, and they had all these Buddhist texts and all these things that were just like, wow, okay, you've got to be shitting me right now. This is just so happening in a moment of calling in something deeper, you know. And at that time, I had no idea how powerful it was going to be, sitting in silence. And I had been seeking peace for a very, very, very long time. For as long as I can remember, I had been in these shifts of absolute turmoil, and in these places of huge destruction. And so when I stumbled across those books, I just remember thinking, and then of course coming from Mullaney, my beautiful doggy's here. Which way are we going? There he is. Hi, TV. Say hi. Can you see you? Oh, yeah. um, and so it was that really drew me to breath and to sitting in silence and to just doing these things that were just going to be so, so powerful. So it's funny how your journey is really going to shape who you are, and it really calls you to who you are. And so I suppose, apart from me coming in and just saying, hello, and I know that it's been too long between videos and guests that have been sitting in the woodwork, we haven't got anywhere, we're still here. That amongst this too is that message that no matter what you might be going through today, and no matter what your today may look like, this is the reason why this show is here. This is the reason why we have been created. This is the reason why this exists. And for all the people out there that are in the same type of voice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for letting people know that you're here. Thank you for being a support to the people that need you. Because there are people, the earth needs us. The earth needs the shadow workers. The earth needs the people that are really trying to make, have made sense of what they can and are sharing that sense and that shine. And then, of course, are, continually looking to just grow. And you can absolutely do that. And there are ways of doing that. So, yes, those are our two speakers, our two guests, shall I say. Reese Anderson, Georgie Hansen. I hope to really get more people on. I do have some things in the works as to how we continue to maintain momentum for this show. And hopefully it continues to reach as many people as possible. So thank you so much for being here. And for the people that have been on, thank you so much. For the people that watch, for the people that have provided reviews on this show that you can find on my website, www.countrycoaching.com.au. I wanted to say thank you so much. And for the guys that wonder what we do, head to Country Coaching. Head to Country Coaching, take a look at that website, see what I'm about, see why this was created, basically. And scroll through some of the videos, have a look, see what you think. Have a fantastic Sunday and watch for the schedule. We will be scheduling these guys in. And hopefully this is going to be another year of great impact when it comes to providing you with holistic tools, giving you the access to listen to another person's story, and of course knowing that hope awaits you. You're not alone. You're never, ever, ever alone. Please understand that. Much love to you. Bye.